Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, welcome to, no beard. Hello and welcome to Another Words. I'm your host, Jason Nanda. And since nothing major happened this week, we're going to start with the little light stories, okay? Let's jump right into it, okay? Cortica broke the D3 attendance record. I don't get what the big deal is. Our dining hall lines and off-campus housing wait lists seem to have 45,000 participants at all times, so what's the big deal? Alabama quarterback and top draft prospect. Anyone help me out with the name? Anyone? Anyone? Tagovailoa dislocated his hip and is out for the rest of the season as announcers everywhere breathe sighs of relief, including me. A group of wild turkeys have overrun the town of Toms River, New Jersey this week. Said their leader, Thanksgiving is going to look a little different this year. And I think that's all that's happened this week, so we'll be right back. Okay, now that all the people who don't care about politics are gone, let's get started. Public impeachment trials started this Wednesday with testimony from William Taylor, the acting ambassador to Ukraine, and George Kent, the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasian Affairs. Taylor testified that Trump's channel to Ukraine was opened up by Rudy Giuliani, which is odd because normally Fox is the only channel Giuliani is familiar with. Taylor also revealed that one of his staff members overheard Trump on the phone with Ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland. This just proves that Trump is like any other grandparent and yells on the phone all the time. Meanwhile, Kent discredited the idea that Ukraine helped influence the 2016 election, which is a key defense for Trump. If Trump is using conspiracy theories as legal defense, he needs to read my Epstein blog, Stan. This entire thing is starting to sound like it was plagiarized from House of Cards. In fact, Congressman Jim Jordan's response was definitely stolen from Kevin Spacey's 2017 apology letter. That's a tough one. Democrats jokingly invited Trump to come testify, knowing that he never would. The same way Eric and Don Jr. used to invite their dad to their Little League games. It was really sad. The hearings continued on Friday with former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch. As Yovanovitch talked about Trump disparaging her, Trump took to Twitter and, well, disparaged her. Trump began his tweet degrading the ex-ambassador to Ukraine by saying, "Everywhere she went turned bad," sounding more like the title to my Wattpad fantasy about Selena Gomez rather than the words from the President of the United States. It also immediately caught the eye of every tween girl and Quinn for the baddest Insta caption. Who says Insta? Does anyone say Insta? When my dyslexic self first read the name Yovanovitch, I assumed someone had finally arrested Weird Al Yankovic. In another development, ex-NSC official Tim Morrison claims he was acting under Trump's instructions. It's surprising that Trump is familiar with instructions, as he looks like the definition of the person that during origami in the first grade cut on the lines that said bold. The first day of hearings pulled 13 million viewers. A president committing multiple felonies may be C-SPAN's Game of Thrones. Now for something a little bit more lighthearted. Trump confidant Roger Stone was convicted on all 7 counts. Roger Stone lied to the House Intelligence Committee because the truth would have looked terrible for the Trump administration, which it's my rationale every time I lie to my parents about my GPA. Right? In a tweet this week, President Trump claimed a double standard when former campaign manager Roger Stone was convicted of lying to investigators. What about crooked Hillary? I'm not going to do a Trump impression. What about crooked Hillary, Comey, Strzok, Page, McCabe? Trump asked. Trump is like a little brother getting in trouble, you know? And, well, he did it too. The two reported having little contact with each other during the election, though phone records show over 60 calls between the two in 10 months. But that was just to talk about the People v. OJ and how crazy it would be to see a real-life trial like that. Stone left the court in a rideshare Honda SUV. If I was that driver, I would also charge Stone 7 times because he doesn't seem like the type to tip. His daughter watched in tears. I also watched in tears after learning he reproduced. Roger Stone looks like the man cast to play Ebenezer Scrooge in the regional theater play you went to go see in 8th grade on a class trip that was followed by a Q&A with the cast. Dead on. He was the one who convinced Trump to run in the first place, and boy, can he pick him.
Just ask ask about the tattoo he has of Richard Nixon on his back.
Oh boy, that's a lot.
It's a lot like the one Shen has of de Blasio.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Or the one I have of you.
Wait, what?
Jay, the season's almost over. It's almost cuffing season. It's about time I confess my undying love for you.
Well, I'm out.
We'll be right back.
I'm the only one clapping right now. Hey, it's Jay, and welcome back to In Other Words. You know, I love you, and I care about you a lot, but I just feel that right now, what's best for both of us is it's a break. Not for long, just for Thanksgiving and the holidays. But I really hope to see you again in January. I think this is the best for both of us, and it's not you. It's not you. It's me. I just need a little time to focus on myself right now. You know. Disney Plus was released on Wednesday of last week, so let's bring out our Disney-themed princess-themed correspondence themed. First, our damsel in distress, Bailey. What's up, buddy? Next, our lack of agency princess, Ronan. Finally, our fierce, I don't need no man because I like women correspondent, Emma. So, Disney Plus launched last week, but I've been really confused as to why its creators didn't finish the equation, you know? Disney plus Netflix plus HBO plus Hulu plus all the streaming services I'm absolutely not paying for.
Disney Plus dropped, and Netflix almost immediately responded by announcing they've partnered with Nickelodeon to make spin-offs of old Nickelodeon content. Man, that's just petty. Is it just me, or is capitalism so competitive these days?
Yeah.
This is our yearly reminder that Ariana Grande used to be an innocent Nickelodeon star that went from saying stuff like, is it true that Sweet and P are like cousins? To like, you know my hair, gee thanks, just bought it. We won't let you forget it.
Never forget. Yeah. As much as I'd love an iCarly reboot to see if Gibby ever ended up not being such a miserable, worthless little loser, which he wasn't. I loved Gibby. I'm still gonna have to make the switch to Disney Plus. Any streaming service that has no chance of Gibby at all is the one for me.
Anyway.
Wait, I have one too. As much as I'd love to see a Drake and Josh reboot, to see Drake grow up and become the successful, globally successful, multi-platinum rap artist he is today, I'm gonna have to make the switch to Disney Plus.
Yes, but Netflix is going to be getting some great Nickelodeon reboots, right?
As much as I'd love a Big Time Rush reboot to see if those guys ever did fix climate change, I'm gonna have to make the switch to Disney Plus.
Maybe they could team up with Greta Thunberg. Well, I mean, as much as I'd love a Rugrats reboot to see Chucky finally become the evil, murderous doll he was intended to be, I'm gonna have to make the switch to Disney Plus.
As much as I'd love to see a Hey Arnold reboot, to see if they ever get that kid to cough up that football. I'm gonna have to make
Can we get back to Disney Plus, please?
10 million people subscribe to Disney Plus. And another 10 million over 21 years old have asked their younger siblings for the password so they can Wizards of Waverly Place.
Finally, we have access to Phineas and Ferb, the full movie special, which is what Martin Scorsese defines as the very definition of cinema.
Yes.
Disney Plus launched with a High School Musical TV show because the world desperately needs another TV show about privileged kids going to an overfunded high school. This is a win for television.
See, I can't tell if spending the past week reminiscing on my childhood by binge watching Lizzie McGuire, Selena was her name, was her Zoe Place, yeah? And Hannah Montana brings me immense joy or immense depression for the reminder that not only am I an adult, but none of them ended up being gay. Disappointing.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Sure, I guess I'm having a really nice time watching all these streaming services fight for my affection. Like, please, folks, there's enough for me to go around.
The new Star Wars spin-off titled Mandalorian has people raving about Baby Yoda. Although Yoda looks adorable, he also looks like a gremlin mixed with a Furby, so I'm just confused.
Isn't the Mandalorian that car from Back to the Future?
No, Ronan, it's a documentary about the Mandela effect, like Skywalker.
As far as I'm concerned, the only true way to watch Disney movies is a VHS that has been sitting on a shelf in your basement for 15 years.
Beauty and the Beast.
Shelf in your basement.
Well, speaking of John Legend,
Huh?
John Legend was named People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive, narrowly beating out New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Shout out, Shania. What do you guys think? Is John Legend really the sexiest man alive?
John Legend becoming people's sexiest man alive is making good guys the new bad. I would have that man sing me to sleep every night of the week. His voice is as smooth as milk chocolate. Like, please be the father to my children.
No offense to John Legend, but I think the only reason Paul Rudd didn't win is because there's two of them now and they couldn't decide which one is sexier.
John Legend looks like if you mixed Arthur the Aardvark with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Jogo.
When I was 5, I would have not expected Arthur to become the sexiest man alive. You know what my reaction to that was?
Oh, the Arthur meme.
The Arthur.
Well, this is making me rethink my childhood fascination with aardvarks.
This
You know?
tag.
I think I want to be one when I grow up.
Well, the tagline for his photo is how a good guy got it all, proving that nice guys don't always finish last and becoming the hero of fedora enthusiasts everywhere.
Baby Yoda wears fedoras. Sorry, I just had to say it.
Are you still crying?
It's okay.
You know, it's a shame that you have to be an A-list celebrity to be named Sexiest Man Alive like John Legend. I don't like the writers for saying this. Otherwise, I would have been named Sexiest Man Alive since I turned 18. Also, though,
Jay, you are drop dead gorgeous. There, I said it.
also this week, Time released a list called Time 100 Next, where they recognized individuals with rising influence.
Ithaca alum Jarrell Jerome was named one of Time's 100 Next. Did you know he was actually at my Sweet 16?
Your word?
That's really cool.
I think that means by the transitive property, I'm also one of Time's 100 Next.
Yes, she is.
Thank you very much.
Alum is a stretch. He didn't end up graduating. One more reason to drop out now.
Well, not on the list was Ariana Grande. Like, thank you, Time 100. Next. Yeah. Well, Emma Chamberlain was named a phenom on the list for drinking lots of iced coffee and continuing to ignore the effects of fast fashion. Like, a phenom is someone with phenomenal ability. Get it? Yeah. But Emma Chamberlain quits halfway through making a challenge video where she hangs out in her closet.
Hey,
for
it's pretty
24
hard to hang
hours.
out in a closet for too long, all right? Get it? Anyway, Billie Eilish was also named one of the Time 100 Next for, I guess, crying and whispering.
I
hope she
think,
does.
be respectful, I think her full name is Billiam Eyelash.
I think so. I think so too. Well, Keke Palmer also made the list, which I mean, it took long enough. Like, she's only been VP at Mad Style for 8 years now. Because I'm the new VP.
Yeah. It's really hard out there for rising fashion executives. I'm happy that she's finally getting the recognition she deserves. Robert Pattinson this week said he really wants to act and dance as a ballerina in a movie, despite knowing nothing about ballet. Yeah. Also, The Batman is currently in the works, starring Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. I would die happy the day I see Batman plie and Pirouette. Thank you.
They tried, though.
All over Gotham City. He's already got the tights.
Very true. Jennifer Lopez complimented Pattinson, saying that she thinks he would make a great Batman. Pattinson replied to saying J-Lo would also be a great Batman. A great Batman?
She's great, Batman?
But no. I've already made up my mind that I want to see ballet Batman. I don't also want to see Batman get on the floor.
After whatever that was, I think we're done talking about this topic. We'll be right back.
Baby Yoda's adorable. Baby Yoda's adorable.
Welcome back to In Other Words, the happiest place on earth. Conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories! We here at In Other Words sat down and solved them for you. Here to help break down our findings, Hannah and Liz. All right, so let's do some deep dives into your research. Let's start with Amelia Earhart. Where do you guys think she is?
Off living her best life, Jay. Solved.
Okay, how about Tupac and Biggie? Where are they?
In line at Campus Center. Solved.
But their music lives on in the songs of Macklemore. Solved.
Okay, what about Jeffrey Epstein? That's a pretty recent one. Who killed him?
Definitely not Jeffrey Epstein. Solved.
How about Jack the Ripper? Who is he?
Jack the Ripper was really the friends he made along the way. Solved.
Okay. How about the moon? Fake or fiction?
The moon is projected by a giant signal, and the phases of the moon are the signal running out of battery. Solved.
And the moon landing? Did Stanley Kubrick fake the space landing?
No, he helped NASA because he wanted to film 2001 on location.
How about where's the Ark of the Covenant? Where's that?
The household appliances section of Sears. Solved.
Aisle 28.
Were the witches in the Salem witch trial real?
No, but they were twitches. Solved.
Is Walt Disney's head really frozen?
Yes! They made Frozen so that when you Google Disney Frozen, his head doesn't come up anymore. Solved.
Was Avril Lavigne?
Nope.
How did JonBenet Ramsey die?
Vibe too hard. Also, possible murder. Solved. Who's to say?
That one hits different. Did Jack have to die in Titanic?
No. There was so much room on that door, Rose should have moved over. Solved.
Is Mark Zuckerberg a reptile?
Yes, specifically a salamander. Solved.
What are they hiding in Area 51?
My self-esteem. Solved.
And finally, who killed Princess Diana?
My founding father, John Mulaney. Solved.
Wow, thank you both for being here. I'm glad you were able to do some deep research to solve some of these unanswered questions. We'll be right back.
So, as you can
Hey everyone. Now today we're going to be talking about the music industry, more specifically Taylor Swift. Do we have fans in the house? No, we don't. In case you forgot, she actually is a musician and not a creepy CGI cat from a creepy movie, you know. Back in 2018, Taylor Swift's 12-year contract with Big Machine Records was expired. So she never said, "We are never ever getting back together," and re-signed with Universal Music Group. However, Big Machine barred Swift from buying her masters and instead sold the company, including Swift's catalog, to Scooter Braun, who is the music manager, that is, of artists like Bieber, Justin Bieber, that is. Why am I saying that is that much, so much? And Ariana Grande. Shortly after all this happened, Swift announced her plans to re-record her previous albums beginning in November 2020, which would legally allow her to own her old songs. She isn't the only one trying to take back something from greedy men next November. Skateboard Braun, get it 'cause Scooter, seemed to shake it off, and the whole thing seemed to die down until recently. This Thursday, Swift revealed that Big Machine is restricting her from performing songs from her previous albums at the AMAs. That is, unless she agrees not to re-record all the songs now partially owned by them. Seriously. One of the biggest artists in the world can't get the rights to her own music? This is a prime example of record labels taking advantage of music artists, something that happens far more often than we'd like to think. I mean, have you ever seen a single, up-and-coming Motown singer not sign a horrible business deal? This situation is so messed up that even Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, right? Ocasio-Cortez. I'm so bad at pronouncing things, guys. Spoke up and criticized the record label. You know what you're in for when AOC calls you out on Twitter. Cortez pointed out that this is part of a bigger problem, even outside the music industry. Private equity groups. These are essentially companies whose only function is to invest in other companies to profit off of their work. They're like that one annoying kid in class that steals your joke but says it louder and gets all the credit for it. aka comedy writers. According to a recent study, retail stores owned by private equity firms are twice as likely as public companies to go bankrupt. 70% of retail stores closing this year are owned by private equity groups. As a result, over 1 million jobs over the past decade have been lost from private equity-owned retailers. That's more jobs lost than getting fired for doing BuzzFeed quizzes instead of working. You know? So how does this relate to the music industry? Well, Carl Group. The Carl Group is a private equity giant that financed the deal between Big Machine and Scooter Braun. In Thursday's tweet, Swift called them out for funding the purchase of her masters. These private equity groups are literally ruining America. You can leave millions of people unemployed, but taking away blank space and love story is taking it way too far, guys. In other words, in a shocking turn of events, Taylor Swift is now the leader of a socialist revolution. And remember, kids, wait until you're at least 21 to sign a record deal. That's our show. Thanks so much for a great semester. You know, okay, I'm going to go a little off script right now, guys. So when I signed up to apply to Ithaca College, I basically, you know how everyone had those, like, little essays they had to do, you know, like the little, like, what are those things called?
Applications.
Not applications. Everyone has, like, a specific writing prompt, and you have to talk about what you want to do when you come to Ithaca College. Well, I said I wanted to host an ICTV show that's a satirical comedy show, and thank you guys so much for letting me do it. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening next semester, but thank you guys so much for giving me this opportunity. Gavin, you're a fantastic leader. Shen, you're fashionable as anything. I was about to say a bad word.
Love you, Jay.
I love you too. Caroline, you're fantastic in the Writers' Room meetings. I'm gonna miss you so much with the monologue. Shyla, thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Thank you, guys. Thank you, all the PAs.
Yeah, buddy.
We hope to see you guys again soon. Good night.
In other words, we'll see you.
Jumping up on the table, everybody gets the cable, everybody gets the cable. I go to sleep telling fables, and I wake up feeling able, I wake up feeling able. Sunday nights I feel I'm rolling with the sun, where of all the things I've done, no, my week is
walking. Oh God, I don't know where to put the goddamn.
Happens every time.
Did nobody just hear Bailey?
La 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 la. In other words, it's a phrase expressed in a different way. That is to say.